Good morning, YouTube. The first of the green tomatoes are here, and boy, it's on. We are frying green tomatoes, and you have never had a Southern classic quite like this one. It's about the best you'll ever have. All right, let's cook, y'all. We got a family to feed. Can we get it all in there? Maybe. Yeah, actually most of it is in. Okay, great. So we're making fried green tomatoes, y'all, which are a thing of beauty. Man. So here, okay, first of all, you start out with green tomatoes, okay? Most grocery stores, even in my little area, now carry green tomatoes most of the time. The best place to get a green tomato is from a farmer who is thinning tomatoes on the vine. I promise. But if you don't have that, look for them in a farmer's market, look for them in the grocery store. And when you get them, you want to make sure that they are truly green. You want them to be kind of hard and firm, because a green tomato is tart, right? There's a little bit of a tart to it. Doesn't taste anything at all like a ripe tomato. Now if you get one and there are some faint red or pinkish streaks, you need to use it right away. Because if you buy them and stick them on your counter for 2 days, thinking that you're going to make green tomatoes in a couple days, this is what happens. You end up with a ripe tomato. That's not what we need, okay? So normally I would also tell you, get 4 to 6 tomatoes. I have 3 because one of mine went too far. I've also got my breading station in the wrong order. So let's talk about a breading station. This is only a cup of all-purpose flour. This is 1 egg. Can we see that? 1 raw egg. Okay. Put them in pie plates to make it easier for you to see. That's half a cup of buttermilk. That is cultured whole milk buttermilk. I personally just like it better. I don't like the low-fat or fat-free buttermilk. But, you know, use what you have. And this is the wet for our, we're doing a 3-stage breading. And this is the wet. Okay, so that's all we do there. Here, I have a cup of plain cornmeal, just regular old cornmeal, right? It's not cornmeal mix. If you have cornmeal mix, it's not the absolute end-all and be-all. Kitty? It's not the worst thing that could happen, but try to use plain if you have it. And then half a cup of panko breadcrumbs. Now, of course, cornmeal is the traditional. Cornmeal is where you get the crunch on the outside, and you do want a nice crispy golden breading thing that happens. But we now have panko breadcrumbs all over the place, which I think are beautiful. So the cornmeal will give you the crunch and the flavor. The panko just gives you a little more oomph to it, which is just beautiful. All right, so let's talk about when you're breading something. These have a gorgeous, like I said, they have a fresh tart flavor. And we're going to use this breading to highlight them, right? So when you're doing a breading, you want to make sure that the elements of your breading are really well seasoned, because you're not going to have another chance to season things inside, right? Does that make sense? So like, I guess I could put a little bit of kosher salt on the tomato slices before I put them in the breading, but this is what I've been doing for years and I like it. So I have a couple of tablespoons of kosher salt, and before you freak out, most of this stuff it's going to end up still in the pan, right? So we're well seasoning this until it tastes good, and because there's a good bit of volume to it, we're going to use a lot of salt. And it's kosher salt. It's not table salt. Don't do this with table salt. If you do it with table salt, you're going to use half or less. I also have a couple of tablespoons of black pepper. Black pepper with fried vegetables is gorgeous. Let's see. I think I gave it about 1.5 tablespoons. I'm going to mix it in. I'm going to see what I think. I can take a little more. And then let's see how we're doing on this part. Yep, we do a little bit more, but not much. So I'd say 1.5 tablespoons all told. All right, ground cayenne pepper. I have about 1 teaspoon. If you are sensitive to heat, use half or less. We tend to like it hot in my house, so I will go a little bit overboard. And about 1.5 tablespoons of garlic powder. You want seasonings that are going to highlight and enhance those tomatoes. Salt, pepper, cayenne, garlic powder, just about perfect. If you wanted to throw a little dried thyme in there, I wouldn't talk about you. I think that'd be nice. It's not truly traditional, but you know, I'm kind of going crazy using the panko breadcrumbs here, so that's not traditional either. All right, and then over on the other side of my kitchen, on the other side of the camera, all I have is a cast iron skillet with about 1/4 inch of vegetable oil in the bottom of it. You don't need much. You don't want to deep fry green tomatoes. They'll end up, just calm down. You don't need to do all that. All right, so we're slicing off his little head. See what we look like inside? These guys are starting to get too ripe too, so I'm just in time. I should have done this the day I bought my tomatoes. But Lance is graduating and we're clearing space for a greenhouse to go in my backyard, and it seems like every time I turn around there's some other, like, oh my god, we gotta go do this. So yeah, I should have, but I didn't, so there. We're doing it now. And you want to give yourself slices. These are about 1/2 inch. You want your slices thick enough that they're kind of substantial, right? Hi. You want them kind of substantial. You want some heft to them, but you don't want them so thick that they don't cook all the way through by the time the breading is nice and golden. See, 1/2 inch is about right for me. That's what I like. And I'm going to show you the first couple of these. And once I've got the first couple done, I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off and bread the rest of them. And then I'll come back as soon as my oil is hot all the way through. Hello, young lady.
Fried green tomatoes?
Fried green tomatoes. Can I get a amen?
She hates tomatoes.
She hates tomatoes. So that would be a no, Bob. No amen.
Oh.
All right, so the first thing we're going to do, here is our seasoned flour mixture. And when you're breading, you take your damp food, be it a protein, be it a vegetable, be it a whatever, and it goes first into the flour so that the next stage will have something to stick to. So here's what you look like right here. So then we're into the buttermilk. And we just squish him around. And the buttermilk and egg mixture sticks to the flour. And then we go into our cornmeal coating. And I just toss him in there. I like to pat it down because it just helps the cornmeal to stick better. So I guess we're slamming doors. Alright, so this I'm going to set aside. And I'm just going to come back through and I'm going to do the rest of my tomato slices. I've got medium to medium low heat over here on my stove. I'm going to let my oil get hot, I'm going to bread my tomatoes, and I will be back to show you what everybody looks like when they're ready to get gorgeous. Alright, we are breaded and ready to go. I think my skillet is nice and hot, and I want to put my spatula for this. So we're going to turn around, folks. Here we go. Here is our cast iron skillet, nice and hot. I don't want to get too hot. You don't want to burn the exterior before the interior is cooked either. Okay. So let's see how we did. Here's our beautiful little breaded tomatoes. Love that sizzle. Now these don't take long. These really only take a few minutes per side. And don't forget, guys, you don't want to crowd your skillet. And every time you add cold food to a hot skillet, to a hot oil, you're lowering the temperature. So you don't want to put too much in there at once either. Ta-da! Alright, this first side is going to go just until they are gorgeous golden brown, and we're going to give them a flip. And I'll probably be back to show you what that looks like too. Okay, right at 4 minutes. Let's see. Can you see that color? That's what we want. I'll show you when I get them all turned. Be careful flipping, don't flip toward yourself. You'll end up with boiling grease spatters, which is not a pleasant thing to have happen. And I think I mentioned we had about a quarter of a cup, or no, quarter of an inch of oil. And here's why. You don't want to deep fry them. You want just enough oil so that when your skillet is full, your oil comes up the side a little bit, but you don't want them submerged, okay? So that's the color that you're looking for. That's when you want to flip them. And I'm just going to keep going until I finish this whole batch. About 4 minutes per side. 4 minutes per side.
Sounds good in here.
Oh, you're my favorite. Okay, our last couple of tomato slices are in. So it is time to serve these up. Let me show you what I like to do. These are phenomenal, just like they are. Kinsley's happily munching on a couple of slices right now, and she didn't put anything on them. But y'all know me. I'm all about gilding the lily. So, let's take, and I like to take a look at them and see how big they are, just because this is fun. Those are incredibly hot. Wow. I almost lost my G rating for a minute. All right, this is roasted garlic and cherry tomato aioli. So this is just a roasted garlic aioli. And by the time the green tomatoes video comes up, I will have posted this video as well. So I'll make sure I link through for y'all so you can see it. Because these flavors, this creamy, garlicky, tomatoey goodness with those roasted, rich, deep flavors are absolutely stunning. This is a perfect pairing. Although, I will say, if you would like to, use remoulade. Also amazing. Also a classic. Also one of my favorite things to do. Just all the things. A little fresh parsley, just because I think fried food, yes, it's brown. It should be beautifully brown and golden. It can also look a little bit dull. The fresh parsley is one of my favorite herbs. I use it all the time. And there we go. Let's just make him for the win, huh? Okay, guys. That is how you make fried green tomatoes. Perfect. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna take a picture of that and use it as my little thumbnail. So we're gonna set him over here just to be pretty for a minute. And I want y'all to see the inside of this real quick because this is exactly what you want. Okay, so remember how I was talking about you don't want to cut it too thick. You want to maintain some texture to it. Whoops. Okay, let me just use my fingers and not try to be polite. Okay. That's why. Let's see, are we gonna focus here? Man, there we go. That's a little better. Okay, you see this? You want the firmness and the texture to stay intact even though you cook it. So really, that's why I was saying 4 minutes per side, you get this gorgeous crunchy. I don't know if you can hear me chewing. That's what you want. Y'all. That right there is how you make a perfect fried green tomato. All day long. Hey YouTube, thanks for watching. And if you thought that video was helpful, do me a huge favor. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get a notification whenever I post a new video. And if you have a second, hop on over to Patreon and check out how to support my channel even more. Again, thanks for watching.